boat the Masters time.
Everything is built on the edge. Everything. Carbon fiber, titanium, all these materials. At some stage in the development of all these boats, these materials were brand new. So it's really, we're trying things that have never been done before.
Their crew members, Joey Newton, fell off the boat. Would you believe it? There is a man, there he goes, on the leeward hull, a man overboard incident. Well, we'll try and play that again for you, but that is Joey Newton right there if you missed it. Here he goes, running across the side of the boat. Oh, slip, boom! Straight in the water, it's cold and wet.
The chances of not getting hit by 4 appendages in the water are pretty slim. It's a real fear. Anytime you hear or see someone go over the front, it's a real bad feeling.
The back corner and sliding right off the back of the boat, and one of those moments that you know, you never want to have happen in a race.
So the Kiwis go to foil as they make the turn at gate number 3. Look at the acceleration and a big dip.
Goodness.
And a man goes over the side. The rescue boat will be there.
Oh my goodness, that was unbelievable.
Not just one man overboard, 2 men overboard.
Parker looking back and waiting.
Watch the speed here. He almost into an immediate stop. And the damage on the front end, as we look at it one more time, is the speed. I mean, they put that thing 5-6 feet underwater. Man overboard.
This is Roger Committee. Okay, we will have to go. All right. Land Rover there, I'll copy. Thank you. Okay, so we're just going to get back to the dock.
The Americans, with no victories yet in the Prada Cup, desperate to get a win before the weekend racing was over. By gate 5, the Americans were in command, and that's when disaster struck. A big gust after a difficult mark rounding, and there was no way back for helmsman Dean Barker and his boat. We'd seen capsizes before, but this one was different. Patriot was righted, but there was something very wrong. She appeared to be sinking. Well, now it's all about keeping the boat afloat.
18 knots, gusting 20, and the seas are getting bigger. This is becoming quite a tough test now. And Team New Zealand comfortably in front of One Australia. Now, there seems a problem on One Australia. See, the backstay's gone loose and the forestay. There is definitely a problem aboard One Australia. Their rigging has gone slack. Why? The boat is turning into a banana. There's real problems here. The crew are summoning the chase boat to come alongside. There are real problems. The boat has snapped in two. The structure has given in. One Australia is taking on a lot of water. This is very serious. Well, now the crew have got to move quickly. They could be in serious trouble, and they're getting off quickly. They could be in danger if they get caught on that rig. They've got to get off the boat fast. The boat is bending. It is going down fast. Look at the three on the foredeck. What on earth are they doing? They've got to get off. There's the Team New Zealand chase boat. And they've gone along to pick up the crew. This is incredible. A Formula One racing yacht is breaking up before our eyes and sinking. This is yachting's answer to the Titanic. Look at it go down. They're panicking on getting the crew, making sure they've got the heads, but look how quickly the boat is being sucked into the Pacific. This is incredible. Now you see it, now you don't. In just over a minute from the time the crew started jumping off, the boat has disappeared.
He's going for a hook, and he's coming in hot.
He is going at one point looking like he was heading straight for
And he
them.
gets him. He gets right around the inside. Oh, there's a collision, a big collision between the two boats.
Well, it was pretty disappointing to have a serious collision. BAR was clearly at fault, slid into us as we sort of approaching the start, and basically hit all the guys.
Well, this is something else, and you've got to fear for those guys, the grinders who were taking the full brunt of the hull.
You can see Derek's kind of fending it off. Yuki and I get absolutely squished by it, and Dino managed to hop out of his cockpit, which is pretty smart, because I mean his wheel got absolutely mullered. So there's a few bruises, but we'll be fine.
These guys have sailed a nice race and couldn't have started it out much more bizarrely than it did.
Softback Team Japan, with Dean Barker at the helm, through the finish line for their first victory of the day, well earned.
You're nervous about what other sort of damage you can't see and what's going on with the boat, but it became clear pretty quickly that everything was sort of functioning okay. It didn't end up costing us a point.
Dean did a great job to get around the racetrack with a broken wheel, which is the most visible part of the damage, and then there's a few compression dings down the side of the top sides, but we'll get the boat inside and take the boards out and then assess the damage. We'll ultrasound the area and work out how much we need to remove, and then be ready to race tomorrow.
We just witnessed an incredible race. How close was New Zealand really to going all the way over?
Yeah, they were blooming close. They probably had a couple of degrees in the bag of angle, but that's about it. Amazing save. I think if we hadn't have had the experiences from the AC45s and learning sort of how to water start the wing like a windsurfer, then it would have been blooming hard for them to save that. It was pretty amazing.
What was the problem? What happened so that their wing didn't pop through?
I'm not really sure. I think maybe a slight mishap with the hydraulics, but a bit of a combination of factors. I think the wing didn't pop, so the camber was the wrong way, which means it effectively acts like an air brake and tries to pull the boat over. And then I think the aero package as well, the wind gets underneath that. It's so big, the aero package, so it's many things all combining together, but they were very lucky. I mean, their hearts would have been in their mouths for sure.
Would you mind talking me through that terrible incident where you fell overboard?
Yeah, as I've said to a few people, the boats turn incredibly fast to maintain foiling tacks, and at some point during the tack you've got to straighten it up because you're at the correct angle. Unfortunately, in that manoeuvre, we straightened the boat up as my feet were mid-air, and so the boat now starts going a different direction to what I was on it, and ended up landing somewhere near the back corner and sliding right off the back of the boat. And one of those moments that you never want to have happen in a race.
And when you were in the water, how long was it before anybody realised you were there and where you were?
It did actually take a bit of time. I think the umpire boat was following us sort of around that tack, and I sort of just gave him a bit of a thumbs up. And then obviously there was a bit of a port starboard incident happening, so they went up to look into that. And then when they came back down, by the time they sort of come past me, our chase boat had sort of come alongside to pick me up. But the biggest thing I was worried about was Team New Zealand, who went around the left mark and were aiming straight for me. And at one point I thought I was going to end up going under their platform, but happy that they spotted me and jibed before they got to me.
So the Kiwis go to foil as they make the turn at gate number 3. Look at the acceleration and a big dip.
Goodness, that was unbelievable.
A combination of reasonably strong breeze at the top mark, quite a strong ebb tide, just made the manoeuvre a little more difficult than normal, and we didn't execute it as well as we could have. There's a lot of subtle differences we would make doing it again, and just led us into a pretty hard nosedive.
Good example of the boats getting pushed to their limits, and we've designed a boat that we can push hard and that can withstand the sort of punishment that us sailors throw at it. So at the end of the day, it's just part of racing.
Man overboard, guys. Man overboard.
Now, losing 2 guys over the side was certainly less than ideal, and doing the damage to the fairing, but unfortunately it was all cosmetic. We'll definitely learn and improve.
Day 1 in the Louis Vuitton finals, never a simple day. So certainly, we had that dealing with chaos day.
And there'll be a few bruises on board tonight. But just talk to us technically about the angle of the dagger board. Was that the problem?
To me it looked like they were approaching the mark really fast, foiling, and you hear Dean say there's a massive puff coming, and you see Glenn Ashby give the wing a huge ease. And they get in that power zone, and Dean just gave it a big bear away, and as that happened, the bows went down really hard.
Well, we are looking at live picture now, and obviously they have a lot of broken parts. Here it is again, guys.
Look at the angle of the board right here. The leeward board is actually angled quite far aft, and it looks like actually it continues to angle further aft, and that's a control that Dean Barker has on the helm, is it, Nathan?
Yeah, well, he's got control of the rate control system on his wheel, and they also have control, in the pits. And what was interesting there, looking at that last bit of footage, was as they bore away, both rudders were completely out. So it looked like they were bearing away nicely. They get more of a puff. So, Glenn naturally has to ease the wing, to help depower it. And then the bow starts to pitch down so hard that he basically had no steerage. And, it's lucky for them that they got so much volume in the bows and it popped back up.
Okay, so I started seeing the bottom of the jib flapping there, and all of a sudden you see a little foam on the water, a little spray coming off the water. It's like, oh boy, this looks really windy right now all of a sudden. And see that spray blowing away really hard, really fast? But Nathan's look at everything's luffing, everything's flooded. Oh, the leeward running backstay.
Still on.
The leeward running backstay stays on, and it's hooked up against the mainsail, and they can't let that mainsail out. The leeward runner is still tight. The leeward runner never got released.
The leeward runner is the thing that keeps the rig in check, and the thing we keep talking about, Luna Rossa want to get rid of them. You see the main looks like it's pinned on, so it's hard up against that leeward runner.
Patriot was righted, but there was something very wrong. She appeared to be sinking. That's semi-submerged there. The crew know it. They're going to have a look. It's all about keeping the boat afloat. We're going to try and inflate some floats under the bow to keep it up. Pumping the water off the boat to give them time to inflate the supports. The Emirates Team New Zealand support boat is there. American Magic crew trying to do their best. There's Peter Burling, winner of the last cup, getting something away. The opponents. Real America's Cup community feel and spirit here.